Making an Impact. I'm your host, as always, Chad Bordeaux, and joining me is the glorious one himself, Marcus Green. Marcus, how the hell are you?
Okay, man.
So we are ready to go. This is going to be a different type of Making an Impact because by the time this goes up, it's going to be Thursday, time for a brand new episode. We're slow getting around on these. Our bad. What we're going to do is hit four big storylines right now and just talk about them briefly. And then, if you're listening live, we're going to do our Lucha Look Back for episode 7. If you're not listening live, it's going to be the next episode over. Feel free to check it out if you want. Otherwise, we're going to get into this. Let's start with Sabin and Josh Alexander, the X Division Championship. This is one of those matches that I'm just geeked for. And slowly and quietly, Alexander is taking on the X Division royalty. Because I'm pretty sure even if it was in a multi-man match, Alexander defeated P.D. Williams, TJP, Sean Davari, all former X Division champions. I think he even beat Ace Austin and Chris Bay, also former X Division champions, but I'm thinking more like classic X Division champions, which they wouldn't be as of yet. Sabin, on the other hand, is now entering the fray. It's all Jake Christ. We just saw him defeat on last Thursday's edition. Hopefully, he's back full time. That'd be great. But with Sabin, this is like the Grand Poobah. I know a lot of people associate AJ Styles with the face of the X Division. I never have. Face of TNA back then, sure, but Chris Sabin's, if my stats are correct, and they might not be, but I'm pretty sure he's been in the most Ultimate X matches, has won the most Ultimate X matches, he's won the X Division title more than anyone else. I know that's a fact still, and I think he may have held it for the longest number of days combined, not singular but combined. And if he's not, he's in the top 5. So like he's Mr. X Division. So this is a big one. Unfortunately, Impact's not promoting Sabin as Mr. X Division, so it doesn't have the same gravitas and oomph that they could be having if they knew how to multitask like I do. But what are you gonna do? Marcus Alexander's been on a run of a lifetime. I don't know where he falls in the PWI 500 this year. He should be in the top 25 considering the run he's on, but that magazine is the current editing staff is trash. We'll say that. But with everything going on with Impact and Alexander and Sabin, what are you thinking about the X Division title scene with Sabin and Alexander? Is this something that you're geeked for like I am, or maybe not?
Absolutely. Ever since that match, I was mildly worried when the North first split because obviously a lot of praise and attention was put on um,
Ethan Page.
either page. Thank you. Because obviously he, came off as the more charismatic one, but I was always looking at Alexander because I like when this guy turns it on, he's the one you pay attention to. And he is showing all that and more. It's almost like it was a blessing that they split and then Page left because now he's shining like he wasn't even in a tag team almost. Um, and it's been brilliant. I mean, like he said, he said it like until that world title comes back to somebody that actually goes here. He's the man, and he's been having the matches and cutting the promos and having more of the matches to prove that he is essentially the top guy next to the top woman being Deanna Purrazzo. They putting in work, made to work. I mean, everybody, there, gives it 100%, but those two really are, grinding it out in the best way. So he's been doing nothing but making the X Division, must see again. Um, and I guess with less, flips and stuff because that's not really who he is. He can get with the best of them, but he's more ground and pound submission technical based, and I think that's been creating a lot of interesting scenarios against X Division guys like Bay and others, and specifically Saban, who's kind of had to adjust his style over the years, obviously because what he's gone through numerous injuries that could have ended his career. So. I'm definitely excited for this. Like you said, that Saban is an X Division legend, a pillar in that company, and him getting back to those X Division roots is it's just great to see. Because at this point, it is the top title. So
Mm-hmm. There was a note that I was. Oh yeah. So with Ethan Page,
Yeah.
he's in AEW now. I think he's tagging with Scorpio Sky. I think,
Yeah.
and he's not really doing anything. Like he left Impact doing the co-main events. He was a co-headliner with Alexander as members of the North.
Mhm.
I don't think Ethan Page has wrestled on television in months. I know he's on Elevation and Elevation Dark, Dynamite Dark, Elevation Rampage Dark 2, or whatever it's called, Electric Boogaloo. But I don't remember the last time he was on AEW. I was about to call it Nitro.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah,
Uh,
he had a little thing with Darby Allin, but that got done with, and essentially he's just an agitator with Scorpio Sky, who has kind of had to lean away from what he was doing with SoCal Uncensored, because that's the thing, because Daniels is, I guess, moved on, and Kazarian is now the Elite Killer, as he calls himself,
because
and
that worked so well for Yoshitatsu as a gimmick.
and so now, yeah, they kind of just come off as like agitators getting in where they can fit in. Like I said, he had a little thing with Darby, and it was cool. But with everything that's going on with these names coming in, it's gonna be hard for somebody like him, in my mind, to find a spot. Specifically when you still got guys like all these guys with the cabinet, not the cabinet, the freaking inner circle, the cabinet, the inner circle, and
Orlando Jones, the Bashams, and
yeah,
Amy Weber.
inner circle and MJF group. So, like I said, you got to kind of get in where you fit in. I think, like you said, those shows like Elevation and Dark is kind of going to be where he's at for a while until he can elevate. Because at this point, Taz's guys are getting more shine consistently on Dynamite than he is. So,
But hey, you wanted to go to AEW. It's not like they weren't going to keep attracting bigger names.
I mean, well, after that karate thing, man, I mean, who wouldn't want to get him? Like,
He tried to be the next Jerry Flynn, and instead he became the next Jerry Flynn. That's a deep WCW cut right there. Um, so next up on the big storylines, we might be getting a brand new tag team, and it makes me very happy. In Big Cass and Moose, I feel like if we were douchebags and we're 6'10" or 6'8", I feel like this would be us, right?
man, F the douchebags. We'll work on our characters later. Just give us the height. We'll figure out. We'll figure something out. Trust us. We got the personality. We just give us the height. Um,
I mean, in wrestling, we don't even need the height. But
yeah, yeah. At this point, yeah.
yeah, this could definitely be us though if we had the height. Beating up Eddie just being tall. So there's a part of me, and I know not to go there, Mark. It's a part of me that I leave alone. It's the quiet kid in my soul that if I give him attention, the only thing that he's gonna do is make me have hope. And I feel like Hawkeye in the last Avenger movie.
Oh
Don't.
yeah,
D-
yeah.
d-
Don't give me up.
yeah, don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Wait a minute. This is going where I think it's going.
It probably is. It's been about 2 months since I talked about it, so yeah, it's probably going there. But if this is the setup to God damn it, I feel like I'm on repeat.
Of all the things you've talked into existence, this is the one.
If this happens, oh my god. But if this is setting up the return of Davey Richards,
Let it be known now. They can take those two big bastards to the 5-star match. It's not even.
well, I mean, like Moose is usually around a 3.5, 4-star himself, so it's not going to be that hard. But man, that would be awesome. Like, I don't know. If it's
That's
going to
it.
happen, he's back in wrestling. MLW doesn't have all their guys under exclusive contracts. Davey has a standing relationship with Eddie, and I'm sure he's on good standings with the new Brass and Impact. So it's like,
Man, it's two Davids versus two Goliaths, man. Let it rip. Like that works.
Don't you mean two Davies versus two Goliaths? I'm sorry. All right, so I couldn't find an image for the next one, but we'll just stick with the image we got right now. It's Violent by Design kicking out Rhino and basically, punking him out. I hope this isn't the end of Rhino and Impact because I think Rhino has found fresh legs in the company, and he brings a rare bit of, I don't want to say mainstream name value, but he's like a deep cut mainstream guy. Like if you go, oh, did you hear that one song from Ariana Grande? I was trying to think of a pop artist, and that's the first one that came to my mind. Uh, Maybe they don't recognize the song, but they'll recognize her, and I feel like that's what Rhino is right now. Like he's not a needle mover on that realm by any means. But if you're flipping through the channels and you see Rhino and you're a fan from 20 years ago, you might be like, "Oh my God, it's Rhino."
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's a guy that's always managed to maintain look, physique, believability in a lot of ways. It's just, he's kind of had that trickle down effect where he went from being the hitter to the guy that got hired to be the hitter,
Mm-hmm.
and then to a guy that you had, kind of now have to remember that he was a hitter. So, but he's always, kept himself, like I said, physically and then with that character, and specifically a lot of it also has to do with the gore. Um, to be in prime position if he just get in the right situation or scenario. This almost feels like, and this may be a premature uh, trigger pull, but you know, leaves him open to if Slater comes back and like, hey, buddy, I got you right, and then to hit back up the tag team because I don't know if they send Rhino off on his own like that. Like you said, he doesn't really feel like that guy anymore, and it's not like I don't know if he's the character right now on that show to be like, I'll take on Violent by Design all by myself. Because at this point, they could just sick, Mr. Shadow Stan Hansen on him, and it's kind of a wrap. You
Yeah, yeah. Joe Doring.
Joe, it's a wrap, yes.
Shadow Stan Hansen. uh, yeah, you just kind of scared the shit out of me by reminding me that Heath Slater is still a thing. I think Slater would, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, I think he would mesh better with Cardona or Myers. I just feel like they have a better vibe, and I think that's the better way to go. But I would love to see Rhino become a hitter again. But to do that, I think Rhino needs to drop about 30 pounds.
Mm,
Now, he's a bigger boy, but I remember when he came in the first time back in '05, just how jacked and thin he was. He wasn't like thin, but he was in shape.
yeah.
And he's not anymore, and it's obvious, but I would like to see him get back to that because he's only 45. In modern wrestling, he still has a good decade on his body if he wants, especially with the way Impact tapes.
Yeah.
So if he were to take 3 or 4 months, go on the Ba diet,
No, that's the thing. Yeah, for real.
right, and come back, like, right, because like the weight will save his knees. If he loses about 30 pounds, I'd say maybe 40, he could save his knees and really get back into a good grind, so to speak. But that's going to need to happen if he wants to, have a longer run in Impact. Personally, I love Rhino. I don't know why I always have. He's like that one guy that I'm like, all right, I vibe with you. You just run through bitches. I like that. He's Goldberg with hair. So here's hoping. And if his being kicked out of Violent by Design brings back Slater into a tag feud, fine. Rhino gets work still. Joe Doring gets work. Cody gets work. But like that's the thing. Like Cody Deaner to me always worked better when he was a face. And I hope they go back to that eventually because like Deaner's quarantine was like the best thing out of 2020.
Yeah.
Like it was. It just fucking was. Real quickly, Swan is number 10 in the PWI 500. I don't have the full list ahead of me. I will say this though, I don't like the new editors of PWI. I don't like the changes they're making. They're making Like here's the thing about the magazine. It used to be something special. If you got in there, you were something. But now they've gone full soy boy on the idea of like, well, let's just include everyone and everything. Everything's a world title. And it's like, if everything's a world title, then nothing's a world title. Like, the whole point of a world title is that it's exclusive. You know, like, don't sit here and tell me that someone I've never heard of from a promotion that no one's ever been to with a title that's been around for 6 months is on the same level as the NWA World Championship or the Impact title or the New Japan title. Like, don't sit here and tell me that because I'm gonna think you're a fucking lunatic.
They do this weird thing too where they ride waves. And it's obvious because when they do like best men's or best women's, they can technically go who's ever the champion in WWE at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Took a vote, a couple. If they did the list and came out like a couple weeks ago, a few weeks back, then the top woman in wrestling right now would be Nikki Ash. From- and and at that point, you couldn't wish credibility with the Dragon Balls at that point.
No, you couldn't. The Great Gokhan or whatever his name is, would be like, no, that's fucking stupid. And you'd be like, yep, nope, that's fair.
But Shinron, no,
Shinron.
even Perunga from Namek said it's stupid, and he hasn't even been summoned yet.
Great Parunga, can you give us credibility to our magazine? Are you fucking kidding me?
And why did you ask for the Namekian, you dumb?
Risa should have eradicated all of you. Wow, I did not realize Perunga was a giant fucking racist. You have to, Marius. Have you ever seen the show Community?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the one where Troy and Jeff find the hidden trampoline?
No.
So they're playing basketball, and the ball goes over into this like magical maze area, and this guy has made like this tranquil little park with like shrubbery and bushes and like a magical trampoline. And Jeff and Troy start bouncing on it, but the caretaker's like, "All right, listen, I'll let you guys, use this, but you can't tell anyone." And like it becomes like this healing thing where like it gives these guys like clarity and peace of mind. And the guy's like, well, I kind of figured it, you guys would take to it because some of you looking at Troy, are natural jumpers, and some of you just, get it. And like the episodes build up, and then Chevy Chase's character finds his way in, double bounces, which is like a big no-no, breaks both of his legs, and the whole thing gets revealed. So they're tearing down the little magical kingdom with the trampoline, and Jeff and Troy are heartbroken. They're like, "Man, we're so sorry that you got caught. Like, we're so sorry." And he goes, "No, it's my fault. This is what happens when I trust a black guy." And everyone's like, "What? He's racist?" And then they flash back through the episode, like revealing all the hidden dialogue, like looking at Troy and saying, "Some of you are natural jumpers." And then they do this cutaway gag where he takes off his shirt and there's a swastika, and like they look at each other and he goes, "Oh no, it's going to be a maze." And they're all just nodding along. I forget what the point was, but that's a fucking hilarious episode of Community.
I mean, I guess it goes to show you like you pay attention to stuff. You can turn your brain off to stuff when you're trying to enjoy. Like if you're having fun, like you'll overlook some stuff because you go back and watch it like son of and like seeing a swastika and then have somebody tell you it's a maze. At that point, that's willful ignorance.
They were so blissed out on the tranquility of it all. They just took it. Like, sure, that tracks. That makes sense. I don't remember what the point I was going to make with PWI and Community, but there it is. It's one of those things with PWI. I just feel like they're trying to cater to the lowest common denominator, which never works for anyone.
Yeah,
What are you going to do?
trying to go with the popular crowd and try to stuff, that gets them looks, and I think they, I get it, but because it's a lot of magazines and stuff are dying out, print media and all that, but yeah, it's not good, and it really, I guess the beauty of it all, it really teaches people they kind of like the Rotten Tomatoes of wrestling magazine. Because they really teach people like, dude, it really is all subjective. some people might think, Grado is the second coming of Vader or something. And like we said, we think we come on like Adam Cole, Ciampa, and somebody like Gargano, the same dude, and to them, to somebody else, they're the Rock, Stone Cold, and Sean or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, whatever, man.
So I remembered I was trying to make a comparison to the joke about Porunga being a racist. Completely forgot about the fact we were even talking about Dragon Ball.
Big swole Porunga.
Swolunga. God damn, I can't say it. Porunga. Unga. Swolunga. There it is. Nailed it. I had to work it out with my tongue. Wait, that didn't come out right. Speaking of that didn't come out right, Ace Austin's haircut.
Ah,
Ah.
yes. He's experimenting.
So, they did the whole thing with Tommy Dreamer where he's like, if you win, you're in. And I'm just like, just put him in. Why even be a dick about it? Um, I feel like, if we're putting the belt on, 48-year-old Christian Cage, why can't we put it on 50-year-old Tommy Dreamer? Right? Like, I feel like we no longer have that argument.
Oh man, guess I got to steal a line from these new kids. It's the tits for me. Um,
Wait, who's bringing back It's the Tits?
no, I just said that. I was no, I mean it's Dreamer's tits for me. Like I can't do.
Oh, we're sorry,
I
Tommy. We're sorry.
just use like it's the such and such for me. Like if they do something, I guess talking about Trump, it's the dog whistling for me and all that. But yeah, I
Okay,
can't.
because
It,
It's the Tits actually used to be an exclamation for something good. Like,
oh
that's
yeah,
the tits.
yeah. I never understood that. I never hopped on that trend. But
Well, I think that trend was from the 60s, so, like...
yeah, 'cause, growing up, I was actually focused on actual tits.
Well,
Uh,
now you know why they're called tits. At least that's always been my rationale.
amen. But yeah, I mean, like even Christian called it on the show. Like, what the freak is going on with your hair? And he's still, you know, uh, he's always had that microwave build, um, or at least for a while anyway.
Oh, God, Dreamer has a bun, too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Between the hair and the tits, I can't do it. Like, he's dreaming to me is pulling up in a minivan to get the kids, and that's about that, man. I can't do it. So yeah, but at least it's not like okay, if you beat Christian Cage, you can face Christian Cage.
I hate that. I hate that so damn much.
Uh,
See, if Dreamer and Rhino were to go on the Ba diet, I feel like they would put some legs back on their career. I really do.
would
But
you
then again, Dreamer really hasn't gotten that much heavier from his prime, which is partly the issue.
would you put them together or make them? Because I would imagine they've had so many run-ins over their career.
With Rhino and Dreamer?
Yeah.
I think they already did a run a year and a half ago. Before Rhino turned heel, I think. But yeah, I'd put them back together. Hell yeah. I'd even put the belts on them. I'd put every belt on them. My nostalgia is a bastard.
I feel like that'll be a really great match against somebody like Mac and Swan.
I think that's who they faced.
Oh wow. To the archive I go.
Right? Like, man, like, I forget, like, it was an episode of something, but they forgot something huge. And maybe it was Bohemian Twirl or something like that. But, like, everything they ended up doing were all the things that they didn't want to end up doing. And I feel like that's what we're doing. We're stuck in that same loop. Jeez. All right, well, that's Impact. We're not going to do an outro. Just go to the website, realnerdcorp.com. With Twitter's NERDCORP. Stick around for a Lucha look back, and you'll hear all of our socials. So be on the lookout for that. With that said,